This is my 2003 Crown Victoria, and the air blend door actuator quit working, and it blows hot air, whether the air conditioner is on or off or what have you. It's nothing but hot air. I've seen a lot of videos on the internet how to fix it, a lot of different ideas, and I'm going to show you step by step how I've chosen to fix this thing. The first thing you always do when working on the electrical system of a car is you take an 8mm wrench, and then you loosen the negative battery terminal and remove it to ensure that nothing bad happens. Okay, now we need to take off this trim, and you can kind of see it looks like it comes right off right here. Oh yeah, it just kind of pulls off, so I'm going to very carefully take that off. Well, that came off extremely easy, and there's a connector right here. See this white connector, a little tab on the bottom we pulled off, and there's another one right here. We'll just take this one off, and then we're all set. Well, this trim piece came off pretty easy, and the only issues I had was there's two connectors. Like now there's this white connector, and it goes in this hole, but there's nothing there. There's nothing electrically there. I don't know what that's even all about, but you can just see there's the locking thing right there. You press on that, and there's this black connector that plugs in right over there. You can kind of see there's a little tab right there, and you press in with that with your thumb and you get that out of there, and we're all done. Okay, next we're going to take out the glove box. So let's look underneath the glove box, and we can see that there's a 7mm screw here, and then we can see that there's a 7mm screw there. Okay, now it's time to take out the passenger side airbag. You can see there's a 7mm screw here, a 7mm screw here, and then on the bottom we can see, let's see if I can get this on camera, right there is an 8mm bolt and an 8mm bolt. So we got to take those 4 screws off. Okay, we got our airbag loose. Now we got to get the connector undone, and you kind of got to go underneath here. Okay, you can see the connector, and oh gosh, it's tough with one hand. But anyway, I got a little screwdriver, and we got to pry up. Gosh, I can see if I get my fingers in here. Okay, there's a connector. We pry up, and once I undo that lock, then we'll be able to separate the connector. Look at that connector. It's just once I lift up the lock that was holding that knob in, it came right out. And just get a little better look at this thing here. Just so you can. Anyway, that was the tricky part. Okay, now we remove the airbag, and now we have to remove this vent. And there was a 7mm screw right here that we took out, and then we grab it firmly at the top, and we pull, and it unsnaps, and it unsnaps on the side. And we'll take this thing out. See, there's a clip here, and a clip on the side, and that's all that was holding it in. Now we have to take this air duct out of here, and that's kind of a tricky one. And way back up here, like where my finger is right now, my finger is reached way over there, and it's on a 7mm screw. Now you can see it's on the bottom, and I got my finger right, oh boy, my finger right down here. Tell you what, oh yeah, I got my finger right down there, and I'm going to reach around there and get that one out. Oh yeah, we had the silver screw on the top and the black one on the bottom, and those are pretty difficult to reach. Well, removing this vent is surprisingly difficult. There was only 2 screws. There's no other screws like I've read otherwise or heard otherwise on some other YouTube videos. And right now I've got it almost out, and I just wanted to show you where I'm at. I had a difficult time, but I managed to like bend it around. Now I got to rotate it back, so the vent is pointed up now. And now that I've done that, it's kind of free from the tube here, and I just got to pull it out, and then it'll be out. See, I got the end out, and there's just a little wire loom thing here I have to disconnect that goes to this white cable pack, and we'll be all done. Okay, there's the air blend door actuator. Let's go zoom in on it here. You can kind of see it's right there. You can see there's a white connector on the top of it. You see where my finger is, there's an 8mm bolt, and then to the left of that, out of view, is another 8mm bolt. And then way back here is an 8mm bolt next to the firewall, and that's always supposed to be the big problem. Now, the prevailing opinion on the internet is the way you do that is you take off these 2 bolts that you can get to, the 2 8mm, and then you just break it off on the back, and then you cut a slot and to have it slide back. Now another guy said to get rid of all this insulation up there, as much insulation, and then he took shaved sockets and went back there. Now I reached down there with my finger, and I can actually put my finger on that back 8mm bolt, and I wonder if maybe I can get it with a universal flex. I'm going to play around with this and see what I can do. But plan A is to basically just take off the 2 bolts, lift this thing up, and break it out. And then on the new unit, take the hole and turn it into a slot so I can hook it into the existing bolt to secure it on the back. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, getting that 1 bolt off was pretty easy. I got that off. I'm trying to get the bolt to the left. And man, that is really, really tough to get to. I can touch it with my fingers, but I can't really get the socket on there. You see that white connector? I took that off, and because it gives me a little bit more room. I'm going to work on it a little bit longer here and see what happens. Well, after a long, long struggle, here's the old unit, and here's the new unit for comparison. Now, I just could not get this bolt off, and of course the one in the back I didn't even try. You know, for some reason I was trying with the stupid socket, and I just couldn't get the socket on there. I think there's some interference or something, but I tried and I tried and tried. Every once in a while I could maybe get a wrench on here, because you got your finger on there, you can feel that the wrench is on there, but I just really couldn't turn it. So I finally gave up and went to plan C. I took a chisel and slid it along here and put it right on the edge and gave it a couple of whacks until something came loose. And then I pried up until this back tab broke off. And with this thing out of here, I had enough room to get my hand in there, and I could use the 8mm wrench, and I loosened this thing a half a turn, and I loosened this one a half a turn. And anyway, now I'm just going to make some modifications on the new one and slide it in the bolts that are still there, and then tighten down this 1 bolt. Let me show you on the bottom. It's kind of the straight in line to the car. So this is full heat. Or make sure the air door, there's a metal bar, and there's air door, and I'll just make it to where it's the same angle, to where that thing goes back on. So here's with the unit out. Kind of see how much more room there is in there. Just give you an idea of what it looks like inside there. It's a lot easier to get your fingers inside there with that stupid unit out. Now I got to put it back in. Here's the modifications I made to the new unit. Hopefully I can get it in there. It's not going to be an easy fit, but like I say, this screw and this screw are loosened a half a turn, so hopefully I'll be able to slide these things underneath there without a whole lot of trouble. Okay, well, it looks like it's in there pretty solid. You can see the metal bar on the bottom. It's inside the slot. That's the important part. And the thing's solid and doesn't seem to be moving around. Now I just got to plug in that white connector and put everything back. Okay, we reassemble in reverse order. Got this baby blowing, and oh man, feel that air coming out of there. We got nice cold AC now, and life is good, and there's nothing like having AC in the summer. And man, oh man, now I can sit back and relax.